What is up? I'm back again with another three-wheeler. Whoop, right there. 185s. There she is in all her glory. So I got this thing from an old lady. It was her husband's. They got divorced and it was sitting in a field for many years. When I got it, front tire was completely shot, so I replaced that. I put a new brake cable on it, seat cover. I did fresh foam. She's all dusty. It's been sitting under a tarp, but I put a fresh layer of foam and then a new seat cover. Turned out really nice. Plastics are in great shape. They're just a little faded, but eventually I'll clean those up. I don't really feel like doing it now, and I even got new stickers for it. I want to, but I don't, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna wait. But it'd probably fire up right now, honestly. Might give it a shot. I haven't even tried. Gas is off, that's good. Must have been smart. I'm usually pretty good to turn the gas off and drain the bowls. Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay, I know what I did. We freaking made a mess. That's exactly what I did. I betcha it's on the other side. I betcha she is. Yup. Nice and loose. Okay, cool. I bet she's gonna fire right up. Let's give that another shot. I'll wipe up this gas. No leaking now. All right, let's give her a shot. First pull, maybe. Nope. Second pull. Oh, second pull. Huh. Maybe I don't even need to clean the carb. Oh, jeez. I think when I parked it, it was doing that. I used to fire right up, run perfectly. I think the jets just got a little clogged. This gas nowadays is so nasty. You let it sit in the carb for a month and you gotta clean it. But I think it's easy enough to clean the carb, so we're just gonna stick to it. Clean the carb real quick. All right, we got the gas. I turned the gas off and I'm draining the carb out. I'm gonna pull the plastics off. There it is. Maybe. Why are you stuck? Goodness. You just seized to it. All right. Just as clean as I remember. Yeah, the plastics look good down there, but up here, pretty faded. Get out the torch and ruin them. LOL. All right, 110 mil, pull the tank, pull the fuel line, and yeah, pull that carb out real quick. All right, tank's off. I did put a fresh filter on here. I'm definitely gonna spray another coat of oil on there because she's pretty dry, but that was oiled up last year. So the way you pull carbs on these things is pretty easy. Back when I was a youngin', I would try and pull the air box and try and get it out that way. It was ridiculous, but basically you just take the boot off. So take those 2.8s out, take those 2.10s out, break it loose. Don't pull out. You always try and like keep it against the cylinder head to keep the O-ring flat so that when you break it loose, it doesn't come out and like break in half. Yeah, so loosen up this screw back here, this clamp, those four, and then break it loose like that, and I'm gonna show you that. Got all the hardware off, got the boot loosened up, and immediately I can see that there's quite a bit of buildup down in the bottom of this slide. So it's a good thing I decided to clean it. And also, this tire's gone low over winter, which is a bummer. So hopefully it's just the valve stem leaking. I'm gonna pull that out and clean it. And yeah, before I pull this out, I'm gonna grab my heat gun and I'm gonna heat up this boot because this one's actually pretty soft. Usually they're hard, and it's just good practice to warm them up because it makes life so much easier. So I'm gonna heat that up with the heat gun. And then I'm gonna twist this like this, twist it while I hold it against the head, and then I should be able to pull it right out. Easy peasy. Boot's heated up. Let's see if we can break this loose. Oh, easy enough. Just twist that. Yep, she's fully loose. I'm gonna pull this out of the way, or try to. Get this coil out of the way. Oops. And yep, she's fully loose, so this is gonna be hard one-handed, but oh, you see that O-ring in there trying to come apart? I do not want to break it. So, grab a small pick and very carefully do surgery on it. Get it separated, hopefully, without breaking it. Ideally. Yep, just like that. Perfect. This with my legs. Perfect. So yeah, pop this intake out. That's the gasket I was talking about. And it's perfect, which is good news. And then you just give it another twist and carefully, it's pretty stuck in that boot. Might need to loosen it some more. And that's where the heat's gonna help that break free. Especially going back in. Pulling it out isn't a big deal. Going back in usually is the hard part, but there it is. Carb is removed. Very easy. Got the carb on the bench. First thing I'm going to do is pull these breather lines off. And the next thing I'm going to do is I've had this apart, and as you can see, the threads are perfect. But a lot of times when you pull carbs apart, they're stripped out because people don't understand. You need a proper screwdriver, one that actually fits, and if it's not budging, you want to put a lot of pressure on it, and if it's not budging, you take a hammer, give it a couple taps on the top, and it'll break free almost every time. Unless it's been Loctited in there or super glued, that's how you do it, and that's how you don't strip out your threads. It's very nice. So I'm going to pull this bowl off real quick, and there's another tip when I get there. We have the screws loosened up, and the bowl is stuck to the carb. As you can see, it's stuck. It's not coming off. What you don't want to do is grab it and pull on it, because it's just like with this intake boot. There's a O-ring gasket in there, and when you pull it apart, it stretches, cracks, breaks, etc. So what you're going to want to do, and I've taken a lot of carbs apart, and this almost always works, and if it doesn't work, then the gasket's just shot. There's really nothing you can do. You take the end of your screwdriver as you hold on the actual body of the carburetor, and you give it a good hit right on the side of the bowl. That, like 9 times out of 10, pops it off perfectly, and that's the way to do it. I wish I had a way. I have a freaking stand coming in the mail, but let's see if we can. We're getting real MacGyver-y here. Okay, so you hold the body and you just, this one's real stuck on there, which is not good because I rebuilt this carb. I'm gonna try from the other side. See if I can get a, there it is. And just like that, no breaks. That, oh, I must have not replaced it. That looks original. Well, it wasn't leaking, so that's good news. But yeah, break it loose like that, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna ruin your gasket. Now let's pull this thing apart. As you can see, this carb is pretty dang clean, and I knew it would be because it fired up second pull. But the thing that we're looking for is that jet right there. There's a, oops, that's the jet we're after. So we're gonna pull both these jets out real easy. I'm also gonna pull the needle and float out, also super easy. And I'm gonna show you how to clean out that little tiny hole. I am pleasantly surprised. It's mint. So I'm not really sure why it started not running amazing for me. It could be old gas. That tank could have old gas in it. Also, the spark plug could be gummed up. I'm gonna definitely check that. But it's easy enough to pull things apart. But I'm also gonna check my air fuel adjuster, which the way that I make sure I get the adjustment how it was in case I screw it up, is you always bottom it out before you take it out. So you start counting in halves, 0.5, 1, as you put it in till it lightly seats, and then you know it's, oh, 1.5 turns out or 2 turns out. And then I can check from there. A lot of times I've found that people will forget the O-ring of the washer and it'll get an air leak there. That was the case on this three-wheeler over here. My pride and joy. Just kidding, but kind of not really. I just barely did the carb on this. I should have recorded it because it was freaking messed up, man. It was so messed up. It was hilarious. And it was running, like it was just leaking fuel. But what they had done is they had forgot the washer on the air fuel adjuster. It goes jet, spring, washer, O-ring. That way the washer sets the O-ring against and doesn't let it leak. They forgot the washer. Also, it had, I believe, 3 jet ports inside. The main jet had the secondary jet cap inside of it, and then the main jet cap was on the secondary. So the hole difference was huge. It was a huge hole difference. So you can imagine that size hole was over the secondary, and this size hole, you already saw it, but that size hole was over the main. I have no idea how it ran as good as it did, but it ran pretty good. Now, runs better than ever. Love that machine. Anyways, I'm gonna blow out these ports real quick, just because I'm in here, and also the top. Get a better look at how nasty that is. Because that's what's really gonna go inside your engine, is all that buildup in the bottom of there. It's actually quite a bit. But yeah, get that clean, get it put back together. Take this jet out real quick, and you know, didn't need to do it, but easy enough, so might as well. We successfully removed it without tearing it. I'm actually really surprised. I dropped the washer and almost lost it, but we didn't, so that's good. And it was pretty gummed up down in there, so glad I pulled it out. It was only a turn out, 1 turn, and usually for my elevation here in beautiful southern Utah is 1.5 turns to 2 turns usually. So I'm probably gonna go 1.5 out on it. Should make it run a little better. It was running pretty dang good last year, but this O-ring is, I mean, it's got to be original. I have a rebuild kit, I'm pretty sure, so I'm gonna go double check and see. On my way to the rebuild kit, but check this thing out. I'm definitely gonna be fixing this one up soon. That'll be a different video. All right, here's my 3-wheeler rebuild stash. I'm pretty sure this one's 200s. And as far as I know, they're the same. That looks exactly the same. I just took this one out, so we'll figure out if this one's gonna work. I did remember right. This is the same exact carb as the ATC200 series. So yeah, and that gasket's actually good. I'm surprised with all that buildup. I thought for sure that one would be shot. I mean, it pretty much is. But there's another one in there, and also there's a fresh O-ring for this, and I might just go ahead and replace the whole adjuster needle. It's pretty built up on there. It really doesn't make a difference, but I'm in here, I might as well. But that gasket's gonna work, so I'm gonna pull the old gasket out. Would you look at that? I got it out in one piece. As you can see right there on the corner. She would have been leaking real soon. She was cracked, and it left a piece behind in here, so glad I'm replacing it. Now I'm gonna take a wire brush to this. Oh, and the best way to remove those is with a nice pick with an edge like that. If it would focus. You just get in the channel, you can see where it was running. You just peel it up all the way around, works great. But I'm gonna clean out all that. I'm gonna clean out all the junk in there. New gasket. It's gonna be minty. Hey, I'm glad I pulled this carb apart. Yes. All right, at this point I've taken a soft bristle brush and I've gone in here the best I can and scraped away at all the buildup. I have not blown that out with carb cleaner. You can see all the buildup that I've got off already. Same with here. This was actually really nasty, even though it looked all right. It's looking better now. Still haven't blown it off. Now, I'm gonna take a pipe cleaner and I'm gonna go through all the holes here. And I'm just gonna go in and out and in and out and clean the edges. And same with this. Put a pipe cleaner, smaller one in there. And then I'm gonna take this file, these little tiny files, the smallest one on the end there, and I'm just gonna go through all the holes and just really quickly file them out, get all the buildup off of them, blow it all out, and throw it back together. The only thing I really use out of these rebuild kits is gaskets and O-rings, and occasionally a needle when they're shot, and occasionally a pilot jet when you can't clean them out, because sometimes they're just so nasty you cannot clean them out. So if that's the case, throw in a Chinese. If you don't have to, don't use the Chinese parts. That's just me though. You know, you can do whatever you want, honestly. But I'm gonna clean this out real quick and throw it back together. Quickly, when you insert this, it goes spring, washer, O-ring. That's how you want it. My needle's looking a little rough. It's the one on the left. I could clean it, but I got a brand new in here, so I'm gonna slap that one in there. All right, carb's back together. That's how you want it to look. A lot of times on these aftermarket gasket kits, they really want to float. And because it has this plastic piece here that's just loose, if you try and put it in upside down, that falls out. If you try and put this in upside down, the gasket falls out. So what I do is take a little bit of silicone and just dab it on the corners, just a small dab, just to hold that gasket in place. So that's what I'm gonna do, and hopefully get it assembled. You really don't want to pinch this, because then you'll definitely be leaking fuel. Remember, a little goes a long way. Just a little bit on the corners, press it in, and look at that, gasket's perfect. You can also use grease, but gasket maker, top tier. Okay, the carb is assembled. We have our lines back on, and this is where the heat gun's gonna come in handy. It really all depends on your machine, but more often than not, rubber gets old, brittle. It's hard to get stuff in. Trying to force it never works out. If you heat it up, it slides right in. It makes it a dream. So I'm gonna slide this carb in, and then I'm gonna put that in, just like I removed it, and we'll go from there. It's heated up nice and warm, and check this out. Boom, one-handed slid right in like a dream. While the boot was still hot, I pushed it back some more and add an angle so that I could slide those in, you know. Wish I could show you. Tripod mount is in the mail. Before I put this slide in, I got a wire wheel or brush on it and cleaned it up. There was some buildup. Now this is very important. This is your throttle adjustment. This is your guide. When you look inside the carburetor, the throttle adjustment's on this side. So we're gonna put the throttle adjustment on that side and slide it in. Oops. And make sure that the guide slides in properly and it goes all the way to the bottom. If it's held up and you're pushing the spring, when you fire this thing up, it's gonna be full throttle. Don't do that. You only make that mistake once or twice in most cases. Don't do it, it's not fun. So just keep that in mind. And yeah. Now we got some of this good stuff, and we're going to get a nice coat on here. Hopefully, I'll put a bunch at the top, and it'll run down off the sides, in theory, and it'll be mint. So now I'm just gonna slap this thing back together. I'm gonna smell that gas, see what it smells like. I'm pretty sure I put seafoam in it and stable before winter. Pretty sure, can't remember. Got a lot of three-wheelers. I'd be forgetting. Before I go crazy wondering why my three-wheeler won't run, I'm gonna put this on. But before that, I'm gonna pull the spark plug out and look at it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's more like it. There she is in the sunlight. Man, she looks good. That definitely didn't help. A little temporary plastic fix. But pumped with it, as always. See, she fires up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a Honda. Yep. I think I'm gonna do some wheelies now. Nice brakes. I'll tell you what, I had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun doing this one too. Basically, this is all 3-wheelers, and those are all 3-wheelers. And I put them away before winter, and now I'm just pulling them out one by one and fixing them up, getting them ready for summer, even though it's kind of still winter here. But the next one in the line is this 200X. Pretty nice bike, but it lost first gear, which is not nice. I could tear it apart and fix it, but I have a spare engine in the backyard that was supposedly built, so we'll find out. It's in my spare frame 200X, so I think I'm just gonna pull the engine and swap it, because that seems like the easiest option for me. Isn't that right, Willow? So that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I'm surprised, and thank you. If you want to see more work on these things, or cars, dirt bikes, quads, RCs, maybe, I don't know, that thing, just pick that thing up. Oh yeah, she's getting done. I got parts coming in the mail. But yeah, if you liked it, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I got some comments on my last video, and it actually motivated me quite a bit. So drop a comment. Tell me what you liked and what you hated. Appreciate it. Peace out.